This is the truth about no contact.
You've messaged them since you said that you weren't anymore and you've broke the no contact rule. It doesn't mean that you're back to square one.
Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before I get started, I would not be talking about all women, even though it feels like it. And if it feels like I'm talking about you, you need to check yourself, because words only hurt whenever they're true. And that goes for men as well.
Nigga, what?
If you're looking for the music to the intro and you want the link to the second channel, both are below in the description. But can you do me a favor? Go ahead and hit the notifications button right now. All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about, is the no contact rule and ignoring a woman, does it really work whenever you break up with a relationship? All right, does it really help you get over it? And the question is going to be, yeah. What you guys have to understand about life, and I want to go ahead and get this out right now. When it comes to life, one thing that you would never be able to change is the past. All right, you can never change the past. But what you can do is you can determine what your future is going to be like. You can't predict the future, but you could do things to make sure that you have a better future. So if you spend too much time on the past, thinking about what happened in the past, it's going to cloud your mind with moving forward. That's one thing that you have to understand. A lot of people would be like, well, you need to study the past so you don't make the effects in the future. All right, well, guess what? You know what happened in the past already. You already know. It's just like woke people tell you you need to know about slavery again. For what? The people that know the most about slaves are the people that don't even have no vision where they want to be in life. So stop thinking about the past, because it's only going to cloud your future. As long as your future is clouded, then you're going to always be stuck in a depressed mode. Most people are stuck in a depressed mode because they cannot get over their past. Your past is something you can't change. You can't change the future, which is why I'm going to be breaking down today. It's very crucial you do a no contact rule in order to heal. Let's get to it.
Even if they did reach out now, you're better off without them.
First, you would never get over someone if they're partially still in your life. What do I mean? Social media still bonds them to you. Mutual friends still bond you to them. You have to always think about the movies where the high school sweethearts split up whenever they go to college. The man stays in the hometown and becomes successful, does his thing, but the girl runs off to college and be with another guy. And then when she comes in town to visit, the ex-boyfriend is still there with old feelings because he could never get over it. Think about the movie The Notebook. He lost his girlfriend and he thought about her for years before she came back into his life. He could never get over it. One thing about holding on to this misery and this stress is that it'll start to chew you away inside. It will actually be more harmful to you when you're sitting around dwelling on the past, because when you become stressed out, your body becomes sick. So you're going to become more sick the more heartbreak you continue to dwell on, which is why it's extremely important to get her completely out. What does that mean? No social media. And if you guys have mutual friends, you have to stay away from those mutual friends as well, because your mutual friends are only there for the drama. They don't know how you feel. Nobody will ever know how you feel inside. You would never be able to convince somebody how you feel inside, because of most of what you express on the outside adds on the emotion. It adds on more expression. You really don't feel that way. You're just trying to sell the emotion. So understand this. Out of sight, out of mind. The more little bits of her that are still in your life, the longer it's going to take for you to get over it. You really got to cut them all out. And after a while, your brain will get over it. Next, you have to process emotions in order to get over them. So you need time by yourself to process what happened. Too many people want to get out of a relationship and rush and get into the next one. You can't do that. You have to process the emotions that you went through in the relationship. You have to process the emotion that you're going through now. Why? Because when you're processing the emotions that's causing you to hurt, pain is nothing but weakness leaving the body. The pain has to leave the body. You have to understand that. If you do not process the emotion and all you're doing is covering it up by trying to do something that just distracts you from the moment, but you're still running back to the phone to check and see what she's doing, you're not processing the emotion. The more you're going through the pain and you can still see a picture of her and you can still see things that remember you of her, then you're not going to be able to process the emotion because you're going to keep reminding yourself of old emotion that you used to have. You need to go by yourself to process what happened so you can mature as a man, so you can mature as a person. That's all these experiences are doing. They're causing you to mature more. They're causing you to think wiser. They're causing you to think cautiously. You need these type of reflexes in your life, not only for women, but you're going to need it for business too. So if you're unable to process emotions and all you're trying to do is rush and get over it, you're right. You're never going to get over her. Take some time to yourself and actually process the emotion of what's happening. Remember, pain is only weakness leaving the body. Next, you have to discover who you are and what league you're in. What do I mean by what league you're in? I'm going to use this as an example. You may take the most poppinest rap artists. You may take the Little Babies and the Babies, and you may look at rappers and be like, why are rappers always going through regular people's shit? Especially when you have all this money and fame, why do you still go through things as a broke person? You want to know why? Because when they get the money, they're not accepted at the country club. They're not accepted at other places where people that have money are accepted. They're in the wrong league. A lot of you guys are like that when it comes to women. You got played by a woman where you and her had two different type of personalities. You were different people. She belonged to a certain group of people and you belong to a certain group of people where you're going to be the most comfortable. That's why a lot of rich people always end right back where they started. A lot of guys that may have been rappers and entertainers, they always end up right back in the hood. Why? Because that's their league psychologically. I'm not telling you that you're a hood dude and I'm not telling you a rich person. I'm telling you that's just a metaphor that I use as an example as you got to figure out who you are. Like with me, I don't go to rap concerts even though I listen to rap music. Why? Because that's out of my league. I'm not a teenager trying to be down with them and get excited over everything that they do. That's not what I do. Nor am I getting ready to go out to bougie Beverly Hills and all that and try to blend in with those rich bougie people. That's what a lot of people are doing. You're trying to blend in with environments that you don't belong in because you think those environments are going to make you happy. Look at Meek Mills. Meek Mills is a god to the hood, but out there when he get around them billionaires, they clown his ass. They be like, look at him hopping around like a bunny rabbit. Look at him act like this. Why? Because when they get to people with power, they try to be accepted amongst the rich elite people, and the rich elite people are looking at them like, guess what? I gave you millions of dollars to keep your people stupid. That doesn't mean you're going to come around us and hang around us. That means you're going to make us the money by manipulating your own people. You're nothing but livestock to us. They wake up to that, all right? That's another metaphor. You have to learn your league and where you're comfortable at in life and stick with it. That takes time for you to process your emotions and understand who you are. You may need to change your friends. You may need to change the people that you are around in order to give yourself a correct balance in life. Too many people are trying to become the person that they think everybody is going to like. And that's where you guys have made your mistakes at. You're trying to be the person that you think women and everybody else is going to like, and you're failing in this process of doing that. Find your league. Find out where you fit in at in life, and it's going to make dating, women, and everything else a hell of a lot easier. Running around here chasing waterfalls? You ain't going nowhere with that. Stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. Next, you don't have her feelings and her thoughts to cloud your mind. You have to realize, most of you guys that have been in relationships, you haven't been able to speak your mind to say and do the things that you want to do because you always had to take her thoughts into consideration, right? Now you got the freedom to think on your own. Learn to think on your own when you get out the relationship. Now I'm going to use another metaphor, and we're going to talk about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman freed 1,000 slaves. Harriet Tubman says, I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew they were slaves. Most of the black people that were slaves didn't even know they were slaves. So when it was time to be freed, they still didn't want to leave. Harriet Tubman said that out of her own mouth. They didn't even want to leave the plantation. You got to realize this too with Harriet Tubman. She was married twice. The first time that she was married, her husband wouldn't come with her to escape. So she divorced him and found another husband that was willing to help her run the Underground Railroad to get rid of people. I say that to say this. A lot of you guys, you're still slaves inside of your relationship. You're still a slave to her and you're not even with her. You're like, I'm not with her no more. She had me psychologically trapped. I'm free to leave, but I just don't know what to do because I became too comfortable with being used and abused. A lot of you guys are comfortable with being played. You became comfortable with being treated bad. And guess what? You want to feel that all over again as long as it's coming from her. It's the same thing with slavery ended. They didn't want to leave the plantation because they still wanted master to tell them what to do. This is Anthony Spade. Hopefully you guys are able to get the message behind the video. Comment, like, subscribe to both of my channels. Hit the notifications button right now.